Gridiron Grinder! Hut hut hike!
All right, party people. It is Gridiron Grinder time, Wednesday night this week, and seems like it's maybe a little abnormally dark in my neck of the woods here, James. I don't know what's going on with that
It
tonight, but
it
whatever. It
does.
is it is what it is. I'm comfortable on the couch tonight, and I don't feel like moving. So, yeah. Yep, Gridiron Grinder time. Me, my buddy James, couple dudes hanging out talking about what's going on in the NFL. We are in the off season, and as we must do in the off season, sometimes we gotta reach out and find a topic to talk about. Which, some weeks you've got the calendar of events that kind of guides it. In this one, we're going to be talking about the franchise tag candidates, which kind of lines up with the sequence of events that window just opened in the NFL. We've got one team that has already tagged a guy, but you know, we'll just kind of like talk it out about each team and who they may or may not be looking at and where they're at with their salary cap and what the tag ranges are, even though I guess like the cap and the tag amounts, we know we're living in a fake cap world. It doesn't really matter anymore. If they want a guy, they'll find a way to make it work. So yeah, long-winded, but with all that being said, how's it going tonight there, James?
Uh, you know, Last week we had to take off because I just needed to get fucking shit faced. So, but doing better.
Uh, hey man, you mean that we needed an executive retreat of sorts?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So doing better tonight though. In this ever changing world, but we'll see what this next week brings and if I want to get wasted again. No, that's once in a while, not as much. I got a little bit of shit because I got wasted and hung out with you till like eight
Oh,
30.
making me the accomplice. Well, I was the accomplice. I guess
Yeah,
facts are facts.
yeah. So no, not really. Like it's just kind of how it was. Got done, went downstairs to have my dinner, took one bite, looked at the wife, and was like, I gotta go to bed. Went upstairs and
You
passed out, and it was the best sleep I've gotten in fucking a year.
Well, that's good because usually drunk sleep is not good sleep. So, um, I'm glad you had fun, my man, and I'm glad I was the accomplice. So, where would you like to start off for tonight?
So
I've
when we
got,
do the
yeah, go
franchise
ahead.
tag, we always talk about the values of it because the values really go into who really has space to tag and what they could. So you have different types of tags. You have the franchise tag and the transition tag. I forget the difference between the two. I think the French transition tag allows the guy to negotiate with other teams, but then the team has the chance to match it. Versus, but my
Well,
research
the
this
the non-exclusive tag, they can they can do that where the team can match it. The exclusive tag, they don't take offers. And then the
all right, so here it
transition
is.
tag, I forget what the transition tag's for, but yeah.
So transition tag, a player who receives the transition tag is free to negotiate with other teams. He receives a 1 year deal for the greater of cap percentage, blah, blah, blah. Should such player sign an offer sheet with a new team, his former team has 5 days to match the offer sheet. Exclusive is like, dude, you have to fucking sign no matter what.
Yeah.
Non-exclusive, he's free to negotiate with other teams. He gets, whatever value. Teams that they hold the first right of refusal if a designated player signs an offer sheet with another team. The player's previous team has 5 days to match the offer sheet. Should it decide not to, the player's original team shall be entitled to draft choices.
Yeah, I was going to say that's where the draft picks come in. It's all coming back to
Equivalent
me.
equivalent to 2 first round picks.
Yeah. And I believe that most of the time the teams use the non-exclusive tag
Right.
because it gets them a little bit lower of a price tag on the player, and it gives them the option of maybe they decide to take those 2 first-round picks, which very, very rarely happens.
Yeah, so like the exclusive is the average of the 5 largest per year salaries at that position at the conclusion of free agent, or the amount of the non-exclusive tag, whichever is greater. The non-exclusive tag is a specified percentage of the cap or 120% of his prior year salary. And the transition tag, the cap percentage average of the top 10 greatest per year salary at the player's position, 120% of his previous year's per year salary. How it falls out, and then when we talk about the non-exclusive, because nobody ever does the exclusive, or they have, but it's very rare.
Yeah.
So for franchise tag, quarterback, it's 47 million this year. Wide receiver, it's 29 million, and I'm rounding these, so I'm using proper rounding rules on these. So
that's
don't
fine.
come at me and say it's 28,800,000. Linebackers 28 million. Offensive line is 28 million. Defensive ends 27 million. Tackle 26 million. Cornerback 21. Safety 21. Tight end 16. Running back 15. Special teams 7. For the transition tag, it's 41 million at quarterback, 25 at wide receiver, 24 at linebacker, 25 offensive line, 23 defensive end, 22 defensive tackle, 18 cornerback, 16 safety, 14 tight end, 12 running back, and 6 for special teams.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, and we'll just kind of pinball off of that. And I've got over the cap up for the team salary caps. I figure that's probably a good one for us to use. And, while we play that game of, oh, well, they're over, so no way they're going to use the tag. And of course, we know in reality, they'll just, restructure 10 deals and add 50 void years, and they'll do it anyhow.
Yeah, exactly. So how do you want to do this? You want to go alphabetical? You want to go division?
Yeah, I thought we could go alphabetical. And I pulled up a nice article from PFF that sorts it out alphabetical, and they give a recommendation of who they think could be tagged for each team, which they just pick one guy, which is nice, right? And, like a bunch of them, they have none, which just kind of cuts to the chase. We could hypothetically, look at the, I don't know, is there a list of the free agents by team? Probably.
There is. I didn't pull that up yet.
Let's see if we can do like a free agents by team, because, for PFF, there's a lot where they don't have anybody listed, and it might be good to just say, well, hey, for shits and giggles, this guy's a free agent, Let's see. Notable departures for all 32 teams. We could do that, maybe.
Yep. But is this
just updated yesterday?
That'll work. That'll work.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
Unfortunately,
and then,
unfortunately, this one's not in alphabetical, but
that's all right. We'll just, we'll make it work. Yeah. And it's not, we're not getting player ratings on here, but that's okay. We kind of know between you and I, really who's the best of the bunch and whatever. And so, I think that's cool. We kind of got a way to make it work here.
So to kind of run down the cap space, there's a few teams that are up shit's creek in cap space. There's a few teams, but most of the teams have, probably about half the teams have enough available to tag somebody and still be under the cap, where like the Cowboys at 55 million over, Vikings at 43, Jaguars at 13, Lions at 10. Saints surprisingly are
Yeah.
only 8 million over the cap. Texans at 5, Bears at 4, Bills at 4, Chiefs at 3, and the Packers at 2.
Yeah, it is nice to see that with the Saints that they're finally breaking out of salary cap
Mm-hmm.
hell. But like we talked about with the fake cap era, the Cowboys are, the rumor mill is that they're pretty adamant about tagging Pickens in their 55 million over the cap. So it's just it's garbage. And then on the other side, let's just mention you've got teams like the Titans, Raiders, and Chargers. You can even hypothetically say the Jets, which have like 80 million or more in space, right? And so it's like
Mm-hmm.
you have such a spread this year. It's nuts, man.
Yeah, and the thing with the Saints, because we always hit on them, like they're barely over the cap because and they still have 65 million in dead cap.
Holy crap. I didn't even look at the dead cap space.
So
Wow.
like I was thinking that some of their dead cap fell off, some of it did, but I mean like they have almost 37 million in dead cap for Derek Carr.
Dude, the Jets have 91 million in dead cap. How
And
is that even possible? That's like
somehow
almost a third of the fucking cap.
and somehow they're 80 million under the cap.
Dude, that is insane. That is like, oh, how do they have? Well, now it makes sense why they were so bad last year, right? Because,
Yeah.
you know, wow, this is nuts. And even the Dolphins, man, 74 million in dead cap. Man, it's wild.
I would say like just glancing at the list, like the Titans are the really only team like that I found so far that doesn't have that much of that cap. So it's like they're building their team correctly.
Well, I mean, according to over the cap, you got
Ooh,
the
the
Seahawks are under a
Chargers.
million. You got a couple teams under a million. You got the
Oh,
Bucks, you
I
got the
was I was
Giants,
I was looking team by
Bears.
team. I
Okay.
didn't even see that column.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Because yeah, I mean, it surprises me that some teams it's like under a million. Then you got the Jets at 91 million.
Jaguars at 43. Who the fuck do the Jaguars have that much? How do the Jaguars have that much dead cap?
Teams
Who?
sign a lot of
Tyson
stupid
Campbell?
deals, man.
Yeah, a lot of stupid deals. And like the Dolphins, like their dead cap is basically, I think it's all Tyreek Hill. Yeah,
Well, it's going to get
30
worse too
million.
if they make a move on Tua, which they're saying is basically a guarantee.
Wow.
They're going to be over 100 when they dump Tua.
That's if they can, if they cut him, if they trade him, they push it up further, which would be good
Okay.
for them. But I mean, who the fuck's going to trade for Tua?
I mean, I was thinking about it, right? So trying to remember, is Penix a lefty in Atlanta?
He is.
It's almost like you would want to pair a lefty with a lefty. And if Penix is maybe any risk of not being healthy week one, maybe you could do something like that. But you wouldn't want to bring in a guy like Tua if Penix is your guy because you're going to have quarterback room controversy bullshit, right? So, but I don't know. I don't know who's going to want Tua, man. It'd be hard for me to imagine that right now.
What I want to
Cleveland,
look at,
just because they've
and we'll
never
get
had a quarterback.
well, no, but yeah, but Tua can't win in fucking cold weather. Holy shit! No wonder they're fucking giving Deshaun Watson a fucking chance.
What? Because they can't let him go. I mean, he's
So
still
if they,
guaranteed, right? So,
yeah, he's still guaranteed. Even cutting after June 1st, it'll be 80 million in dead cap.
yeah. I mean, he's your like reserve quarterback every week at a minimum.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. I did see an article that suggested maybe trading Tua for Kyler straight up and just give both a fresh start. I don't think that makes sense for Arizona, but the idea was like, okay, why not at least pose the question?
Yeah. So but they're still gonna have that cap. If they trade him post June 1st, even post June 1st, they're gonna have dead cap going forward with Watson. Like post June 1st, they'll save 46 this year, but then they'll be stuck with the signing bonus next year, the prorated signing bonus, which is 25, 16, 7. All that's going to be brought forward.
Yeah, they did the worst signing ever, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, and they traded for him too, which they gave up.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember what they traded for him. We kind of got down a tangent, but
that's fine. That's fine. We're chilling. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking at the teams. I do not see a home for Tua, dude.
all right. So they gave up 3 first round picks, a third round, and 2 fourth round picks for Watson and a 6th round pick.
Not good.
God damn.
What's the man? What's his face on Indiana Mendoza? Is he a righty or a lefty? I don't remember.
Oh, I think he's a righty.
Okay, because honestly, and I'm not saying that you have to pair Tua with another lefty. It's just I was just thinking hypothetically, if he was a lefty, Mendoza, you could say, okay, maybe the Raiders pair him so he's got a veteran holding the clipboard, or even maybe starting a couple games while Mendoza gets ready or whatever. But I honestly, man, I do not see a logical landing spot for Tua.
Yeah, okay, so he is a righty.
Okay, I mean, I figured he was, but I better just ask. So.
What is his brother? I'm trying to remember what his brother's name is. 'Cause for some reason, I was thinking one was a righty, one was a lefty.
Gotcha. Hmm.
What the fuck is his?
Yeah.
What the fuck is his brother's name? Come on, you got to know it.
No, I won't know it until a month before the draft, man.
Well, his brother's like a freshman.
Oh, so then I won't even know it a month before the draft.
Alberto.
Alberto.
Oh, it looks like they're both righties.
Okay. No biggie.
Anyways, I digress.
Well,
All
want to
right.
dive in and start looking at a few of these?
That's what I was just gonna say. So you have our first one up is Arizona. Even like looking at their list, like it's obvious that they don't have somebody that they would tag. I agree
Yeah.
with PFF. Like Calais Campbell, they could get less for less than 10 million, as opposed to.
Yeah, no, you're not going to tag Calais Campbell, man. You're not going to
Yeah,
do that to that guy. I do like Will Hernandez, but they already let him walk once. They wouldn't tag him. Um, I do like Jalen Thompson a little bit, but tag worthy, no. I mean, there really is not. I mean, they would be hard pressed to tag any of these guys, which I think Arizona's got it right. I mean PFS got. Oh, PFF had Jalen Thompson. Okay, so
no,
yeah, so
PFF said nobody.
no, I know,
They
I know,
mentioned
but they
him, but
mentioned
they
Jalen Thompson. Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's funny that they were mentioning. I didn't know that they mentioned Jalen Thompson. So, yeah, I think I'm
yeah.
good with PFF, which it's no point. None of these guys are like foundational young up and comers that are screaming off the charts for a franchise tag.
No, exactly. And the next one up, Atlanta. We don't really need to talk about Atlanta because they already tagged Pitts.
Yeah, I mean, but just for shits and giggles, what were the alternatives, right? And so I just want to take a quick look here. Oh, they didn't want to tag Cousins? No.
No, they wave Cousins.
Yeah.
Like
Well, yeah, they couldn't
maybe
they couldn't have tagged him. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he still had he restructured the deal, but um
yeah, they're not going to tag Easton Stack, Tyler Algier.
no, I mean I like
Mm,
Tyler Algier, but he's a backup. Um, you know,
yeah, like maybe somebody on the edge, but they just drafted a bunch of edge players finally.
yeah, and one of them has some off the field stuff, but none of these
Mhm.
guys are tag worthy. No, I get it. I get it. It was an easy one for them. It was either Pitts or nothing. And I don't know that I would have done Pitts, but like you mentioned before the show, he did have a pretty good year. And so, and I do remember a lot of splash plays last year. I just kind of don't like the whole body of work on how you know, he's electric one game and then he's just totally absent, gone the next game. That to me is not a tag worthy thing. But I also do see you got Kevin Stefanski as the head coach, and they're probably going to be running a lot of play action. Maybe makes Pitts a good part of that, and so it's fine. It is what it is.
Didn't yeah, and for Baltimore, didn't and I want to say they tagged a no, they didn't.
No, they haven't tagged
I
anyone,
want
but
no, I want to say that last year we talked about them tagging. I thought it was Noteboom last year, but then but no, it was the tackle that they signed
oh,
that we
Ronnie
talked about.
Stanley.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking when I saw Linderbaum, I was like, didn't they tag him
Yeah,
last year?
Linderbaum is he's the guy, man.
Yeah.
And I've heard that they're trying hard to get a long-term deal. Um, and if they can't, they're going to tag him for sure. He's, one of the youngest or one of the best young centers in the league at a time right now when it's hard to find good interior offensive linemen. And so it would be foolish for them to let him go. Um, and where are they at with cap space? I mean, they
Baltimore.
got 22 million. They got plenty of room to play around and make it work.
Yeah.
And just for shits and giggles, looking at the rest of the team, I mean, honestly, if they weren't going to do him, I would think about Isaiah Likely just
Hmm.
because I see, if you're going to take a guy like Pitts, I see Likely being, the heir apparent for Mark Andrews, right? And you know how much Lamar loves throwing to the tight ends. Um, and then me, obviously an old fullback guy. I'd like to see him tag Patrick Ricard, but that would never happen. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. So we got 3 minutes.
Okay.
We
Well,
could
let's
do
hit Buffalo real quick, and then we'll take our 10.
looking at the list for Buffalo. I don't see anybody that I would tag.
Yeah, I mean, hypothetically, you got Joey Bosa, right? But he's got such a checkered history now with injuries, and you know, I don't, and they're one of the teams that's in the red on the cap, right? They're like 3 million
Right.
over, I think, or almost four
But
million over. You
but for
know,
Bosa's not worth nearly $28 million.
well, this is what I'm saying. He had time with the Chargers where he was regarded as an elite edge guy. He went in, he did his 1 year in Buffalo, wasn't horrible, but I don't think he's cap worthy. Looking at the rest of the list, I did hear someone in an article talk about David Edwards at guard. I don't know that I would be tagging that guy, but I think it goes back to what I was saying a minute ago, where there's sort of like a very soft spot in the league right now on the interior offensive line, which would boost the value of a guy like David Edwards. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see Buffalo tagging him. And then the rest of their guys on defense, you know, there's some guys I like, but they're getting long in the tooth, like Tre'Davious White. I wouldn't tag Slay. It'd be cool if they if they tagged Damar Hamlin just for the story of everything that happened with that guy, but it wouldn't happen. So no, I don't see them
One
tagging
I would
anyone.
consider I would consider possibly would be Connor McGovern, but I don't know. I don't know if I would necessarily tag him.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, maybe one of the offensive line guys, you know, if they were gonna do it. They'd have to
If they were
play
going to
the
do
the salary cap game, but that's okay. Um, yeah.
it.
All right.
And
Well, hey,
got a
yeah,
minute, so
we got
take
a
our
minute.
10 and then.
Yeah, we'll take our 10 and I'll talk to you in a little bit, man.
All right, sounds good.
All right, we are back, Jack, and we are on to the Carolina Panthers.
All right.
So
So looking,
PFF has nobody listed for them. Once again, before I even read the PFF thing, I actually I actually would have said Rico Dowdle because when he played last year,
mhm.
they were a different team. And I know they've still got Chuba Hubbard, but man, he is a guy I would strongly consider if I was them. He just seemed like the difference maker for that offense.
No, exactly. I was thinking the same thing when I looked at the list, but the explanation kind of makes sense with the fact that running backs being tagged at 14.5 million. Like, what was Donald's contract last year? He was like 2-3 million.
Oh, I'm sure it was a bargain deal. Yeah.
Like you probably so maybe put it up to 10. You're still 4 million less.
But are you going to let a guy walk that altered your offense? That what I'm saying is that there's value there.
No, I know. I hear you.
Because I don't know. It's like, hey, when you find that piece that fits, maybe the market doesn't agree with it, but your team does. And, it's a 1 year deal while you figure out, hey, maybe we need to get some other pieces on offense or whatever else. And then after this next year, we'll let them walk. But, I don't know. I just, and I know running backs are hard to tag in general. I'm just saying that when you look at their list and you look at how he transformed that offense, I would at least think about him. And then cap wise, where the heck are these guys at? 12 million in cap space. I mean, they could do it, but
They have like 12.
So, I'm just saying, making the case. That's all.
No, I hear you, and I don't disagree with you. I'm trying to come up with a reason to disagree with you, but
Well, you just say, you said it. He's not worth the money. So, and that's fine.
yeah, but
Maybe they'll be better on offense just from having another year with the guys working in the system and developing. Or maybe they'll draft a running back that ends up being an equivalent to him or better for that offense.
yeah, but is that? I don't think. Maybe.
And they'd be saving a lot of money that way. But they're taking the risk of they had a known commodity that definitely fit well for what they were trying to do.
No, 100% there. It's just I don't know. 14 and a half, like 4 or 5 million is a lot of money that they could use elsewhere to improve the team.
Yeah, I hear you. It's just one to think about. Doesn't mean they got to do it.
And I think also with what PFF's doing is they're making suggestions based on the value of the player, just the value, what the contract the player would garner versus what the draft with the tag value is. But there's intangibles there, and I'm kind of starting to come back over to. I think Chuba Hubbard, or I'm sorry, Rico Dowdle was the glue for that offense and what made it click.
They definitely seem night and day when they were giving him the workload versus not.
Yeah, no, I agree. I could go either way on it. Like I really could. Like the tag value is high, but for the glue, maybe it's worth, and this would be a rare instance. Maybe it's worth throwing out a transition tag.
Yeah, you could try something, and I think that it's you're sending a message to other players on the team too, right? Where you're saying, hey, look, if you guys show us something, we'll think about this. We're not just going to dismiss you, but you got to show us something. This is a team that's been kind of beaten down for a lot of years where, some of it's like internal messaging. It's like, hey, you could have an opportunity, but you got to play your ass off.
No, it does make sense. The other players that they have, like I think that's the only discussion point is
I didn't see
Dowdle.
anybody else. Yeah. All right, let's go to the Bears, man.
All right. So when I look at the Bears, I think they have to tag secondary.
Okay.
Like they're losing everybody from their secondary, basically. I don't think like wide receiver, tight end, offensive line. Like I think they could be okay. The edge, I don't think anybody edge or D line's worth it. Linebacker, they're losing a lot of that secondary. Who knows?
Yeah.
They could sign any of these players back.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of up Schitt's Creek with cap space, but I want to look at
4 million over is not horrible in today's day and age. I mean, looking at what PFF is saying, you got Kevin Byard, highly unlikely because of his age, and then you got Jaquan Brisker. I like Brisker, but would I give him 20 million a year? I wouldn't. And I think that, the Bears GM has been pretty savvy in recent years, where I think that he just retools this thing without blowing the dough.
yeah, and that's a possibility. Like looking at it, they got a lot of young players.
But they are going to have to work some magic on defense because they're losing a lot of guys.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I was saying maybe you pick one of these guys in the secondary and tag them.
Yeah. I mean, if you were, I'm thinking it's got to be Brisker. I would agree with what PFF is saying. So
exactly.
He's a maybe, but it's a probably not kind of situation. Now, Cincinnati, man, these guys, they got the cap space, 53 million. But with the way they've been jerking around, Trey Hendrickson, man, it's totally possible that they will tag his ass. I just, first of all, I don't see anybody else on their list that's tag worthy, like not even close. But man, it's like shit or get off the pot with this guy. Either pay him as one of the best edge guys in the league,
which he is, and he deserves,
or let him walk. And they fucked it up last year, and now they're gonna probably fuck it up again this year. And then after this year, Hendrickson's value is probably gonna be coming down now because he's gonna be getting into that, age 32 season or whatever after this year. So, it just I don't know, dude. I think Cincinnati totally mishandled this. He was a cornerstone piece. They got him from New Orleans years ago, and they hit him at the right time, and they just didn't parlay it into a second deal with him where he could have been that cornerstone guy for the defense for the long term. But we've seen they don't give a shit about the defense, and that's why their team sucks dick, even though they score 30 points a game. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
The thing with Hendrickson is they're wrong. PFF is wrong on the value for Hendrickson. Because if they tag him, it's going to be 120% of his 29 million deal, which would be around 35 million. So that's one thing to consider here, because you're looking at, and PFF is saying top free agents 21 million. So if there's a difference between 6 million to keep him versus 14 million, or move on and let him go to the open market, get a compensatory pick for him, and then go with one of these, the top free agent. which they're saying is hovering around 21 million. That might be something to consider. Like, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I would say let him walk and let him be free to sign wherever he wants,
mhm.
and then just use all of your salary cap space and go nuts in free agency on defense because you need more than just one guy on the defensive line. You need people at every level now at this stage of the game for the
Mhm.
Bengals.
Oh, exactly.
And they could, look at what the Patriots did last year. They could spread some money around strategically. It's just that, you know, the Patriots were the exception, not the rule. Most of the time, teams go and blow a bunch of dough in free agency and it doesn't pan out. I have a feeling with Cincinnati, they would fall into that bucket. Uh, but yeah, it's Hendrickson or bust for Cincy.
I agree there.
All right, Cleveland. Cleveland. So PFF is saying, Devin Bush, maybe. Um,
But I like
man,
PFF's argument here with Devin Bush is he plays inside linebacker, and the inside linebacker versus outside linebacker are two different stories for
yeah,
value. So keeping Devin Bush, paying him an extra 7 million, say, or 6 million, say he tops Fred Warner's 21 million, 22 million
yeah.
for an inside linebacker when you definitely could get him for less. I think if they really, really want to keep Devin Bush, is they look at a long term deal with him and maybe tagging him to get to that long term deal.
Yeah, if they needed to, yeah.
And like go with the long term deal, 22, 23 million, but tag him and then give him a little bit in the signing bonus to make up the difference for the salary.
And honestly, I don't even know if I would do that because Schwartz is out on the defensive coordinator spot. We
Yeah.
got a lot changing on this team. It's anybody's guess if he's going to be as effective as he was because
Mm-hmm.
up to this point in his career, he really was not that effective, right? So I would probably make the case to just pass on him. I would think, and I'm not sold on any of these names, I would think that they would want to look at somebody on the offensive line because basically all of their starters are walking. And the problem is a lot of these guys, like Conklin, he's starting to get old and beat up. If this was 5 years ago, I'd say, okay, maybe you could think about him. Same with Batonio. It's like, man, I don't know that any of these offensive linemen are tag worthy, but man, they are going to have a lot of work to do on that offensive line.
Yeah, but the thing of it is like I don't know necessarily if any of these offensive linemen, the way their offensive line played last year, you would really be that upset if they tried something new.
I agree. I agree. I'm just saying it's a lot of change, but you know, sometimes you got to start fresh, which is what they'll be doing. All right, so now we go to the infamous Dallas Cowboys that are 55 million over the cap, and PFF is even saying George Pickens.
Well, that's because if you read, it's Dallas has said that they plan on placing the tag on him. That's why they picked George Pickens. I don't know. Like I don't. The thing with Pickens is you need him with. I'm trying to remember what they traded for him, what they got for him, or what they gave up for him. But if I remember correctly, they gave up. I want
I
to
don't
say
think they had to give up a ton. It was
I,
it was a it was a deal.
I wanted to say they gave up a first.
No, we got to Google it because I didn't think it was that much.
Oh, okay. It was a third. It was they got Pickens in a 6th round pick for a third and a fifth.
Yeah, that makes more sense. And they hit a home run with it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Pickens was amazing. The challenge is their cap situation, and could you afford to have a guy like Pickens on a tag while you also have a guy like CD Lamb? I think that, you would want it, and it's not impossible. Like you can see, Cincinnati juggled it with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins before, like you can do these things, but you're going to do these things and have zero money to put in other parts of the team that you need to be more complementary. I just we have seen that Dallas has not been able to win purely with offense.
Yeah. And so that, and I looked further into the 55 million over. That is assuming they tag Pickens, because that's including Pickens as a
Really,
only 29 million, almost 29 million cap hit for the year. But here's the thing,
it's weird
where,
that over the cap would count that in already.
and I think that's why I was thinking that they did it, because, but here's the thing: if you're Dallas, can you really afford to have your top three cap hits be your quarterback and two wide receivers?
I mean, all I'm saying is it's not working for Cincinnati
Cincinnati.
with fucking Burrow, Higgins, and Chase.
Oh yeah, sorry, it's not working for Cincinnati. But the
Why would it
problem
be any
was,
better for Dallas?
the reason why it's not working with Cincinnati is Cincinnati doesn't have the offensive line to protect Burrow, where Dallas has the offensive line to protect Prescott. But do we trust Prescott? I think Prescott is freaking way over fucking paid as it is. But it's the reason why it could work long term for Dallas is if you get Pickens on a long term deal, say 23, 24 million versus a short term 29 million, and then you have a little bit of money to spread around. And that's the issue. That's why they got rid of what's his face? Parsons. And here's the other thing: Pickens' agent is the same agent that Jerry Jones wouldn't talk to with dealing with Parsons.
Oh, geez. Okay. All
So
right.
they're not going to get a negotiated contract. Pickens' agent probably is going to ask for 30 million a year, which then your number two wide receiver can't be that high of a
No,
cap hit.
no. Knowing Jerry and his crazy antics, something could happen, but it's not going to make sense for the structure of the team long term.
Exactly. And what Dallas needs to do is they need to get their cap under control and have the
Yeah.
team long-term viability. I know Jerry Jones is getting old as fuck and wants to win another championship. He still wants to prove he can do it without Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, and just for the heck of it, I did go through their list of free agents. They do not have anybody else that's even worth the conversation.
Oh, 100%.
All
I
right,
thought
let's
they
kick it over
signed
to Denver.
I thought they had re-signed Miles Sanders, but I could have been wrong. Not Miles
No,
Sanders.
they
They re-signed the other
extended
guy.
they
The other
extended
guy.
what's his face from Denver. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So Denver.
Yeah, Denver, they do not have a tag worthy guy as far as I'm seeing. What is PFF saying?
PFF saying nobody. Their best free agents are Franklin Myers and Dobbins,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I think Denver's a really easy one to just say it doesn't, there's not even anybody tempting it. There really isn't.
exactly.
That's
All
easy.
right.
We'll move on. So next up we got the Detroit Lions.
So with the Lions,
Yeah, you're
I
not going to
don't.
tag Reader. Fuck, I loved Al Qadim Muhammad, man. He had a great year, but you're not going to tag him.
You're not going to tag.
And we're
I
over by almost 10 million.
For some reason I thought they signed a long term with Anzalone.
I don't remember seeing that, but maybe I missed it. I would love to see him bring back Rodrigo, but not on a tag.
But he's
I
not
don't.
in tag.
I would actually like to see him bring back a lot of these guys on defense, just not on a tag. um, yeah, it's tough with the Lions, man, because these are a lot of guys that you know. A lot of these guys like Khalif Raymond, Dan Skipper. Well, he's retiring. You know, Al Qadim Muhammad, we talked about him, Reader, Anzalone, Rodrigo, and then almost all those guys in the secondary all had some meaningful snaps last year, man. And so Detroit has got some fucking homework to do this year. But there's not anybody on this list that's tag worthy.
Yeah, okay. So they restructured and gave him more money.
Okay.
Yeah, so they
For
restructured,
Anzalone, you're
making
saying?
him or giving him a little bit of a boost. Yeah, so that's what I was remembering. They restructured his contract, gave him a couple. Okay, so they fully guaranteed the $6 million salary and gave him a little bit of a boost.
Okay.
That's what it was. I remember them signing him. I couldn't remember, but I agree with you. Like it's a lot. It's a big jump for some of these people to tag. I think their value is a lot less than what the tag would hit for them.
Yeah.
Then we're on to the Packers. Packers really don't have that many free agents.
No.
And of the
They
free
wouldn't
agents,
they wouldn't
there's
do it,
no
but if it was me, I would think about Romeo Dobbs.
exactly. That's the one I was saying. I'm like the other ones, like I don't think they're really tag worthy.
Yeah.
Romeo Dobbs is a question mark for me.
Because Dobbs does make some clutch plays for them. But they kind of have like a four-man rotation at wide receiver where nobody's truly the number one. And so if Dobbs falls out of that mix, does a new fourth guy sort of emerge? I think that they'd be fine no matter what. I guess, would be interested if Dobbs hits the market. If I'm a team that needs a wide receiver, I'm looking at that guy.
Exactly. I agree with you there. Like Dobbs is a question mark, but they like PFF says they kind of have the depth to make up for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And why stress the cap when you're probably safe?
All right. So Houston.
Yeah. I got to pull up their list real quick.
So I'm looking at their list, and they have some decent names on the list, but at their age and at what they've done for them,
yeah,
and what the cap amount is, I'm hard pressed to find somebody there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it, man. I do think that it's in some ways similar to what I was saying with the Lions, where they've got a lot of guys on this list that played at least a chunk of meaningful snaps for him last year that they're going to want to bring back, but none of them are tag worthy.
All right, so on to Indy.
Yeah.
All right, so looking at Indy has two players that stick out as tag worthy, I think.
Oh yeah.
And it's really only two players.
Does Danny Dimes get a second crazy contract and then bust?
So here's the thing with,
a double bust.
So I think if they tag somebody, they tag Alec Pierce. And the reason is you don't know what that was with Danny Dimes last year. He's not worth whatever it is, $47 million.
Okay.
On a
So
1-year deal.
You're gonna let him walk, or are you gonna try
to
sign him?
You don't know what he had. He had coming off his serious injury, which I even forget what he hurt. But I
think it was his Achilles.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to look up. What? Yeah, so it was his Achilles. He tore his Achilles, which we saw what that did to what that's done to other quarterbacks. The first year back.
I mean, Rodgers and Cousins were a lot more advanced in their age when it happened to them, right? But I do agree that is a factor, especially when you consider Daniel Jones as a mobile quarterback to some degree, right?
Yeah, and I want to say like an Achilles. Yeah, so it's 9 to 12 months. So you're not going to know. So he hurt in December. So you're looking at he might be ready for the regular season, but he might be ready for week 10.
So maybe they're in the catbird seat where it's you tag Alec Pierce and you throw a short term, sort of lower dollar starter level contract at Daniel Jones. And you just say, look, we were intrigued by what you did, but nobody really knows where you're going to be. Mm-hmm. We just, not to be dicks, don't think anybody else is going to take the chance on you right now. We'll take this limited chance on you if you're willing to play ball. If not, I guess test the market and we'll just have to, fucking tag Phillip Rivers instead.
And I think I agree with PFF where Alec Pierce will probably get around $28 million per year anyways.
Yeah, which is nuts, man. I guess when I watch him play, I know he's a great burner, but I still think he needs to develop some other parts to his game. But, I guess we'll see. He has been great at the deep ball. So
right. And he's coming off his best season that he had. I was really high on him coming out of in the draft. I remember that. Like I thought it would be putting him with what they had in Indy at the time. I thought it would have been a great match. It was a great match. I think he has talent, but he's only had 1,000-yard season.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying is if you're going to tag him, I get it, between those two guys. I'm just, and maybe the tag is the right thing to do with him to make him prove it again for another year before you offer him, something like a 5-year contract.
I agree.
All right. And I didn't see anybody else on Indy's list that, I like Braden Smith, but not at this stage. I do kind of like Mo Alley Cox, but he's sort of irrelevant now, and he wouldn't have really been tag worthy anyhow. Um, yeah, I'm not seeing anybody else, man.
All right, so on to Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Yes.
So
Stephen
just
Busher Stable Boys.
looking at their list, I don't I don't really see anybody that's tag worthy.
No, you let ETN walk, you know. I think, honestly, I think ETN is pretty good. But if you go to 2 years ago, he was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's like, okay, did he just bounce back this past year because he knew that he was on his way out and he needed to light it up before he left? I would just be nervous with ETN, man. That's all I'm saying. Because even before, 2 years ago when he had the bad year, he was still splitting carries for a lot of his time.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I like him. Like I said, I think he's better than he gets credit for. But this past year now has sort of like reversed that, where I think his value is inflated beyond what it's worth. And so, I'd let
Yeah,
somebody else spend the money on him. Yeah, I like what they're saying with Devin Lloyd. It's the same as Browns with Devin Bush. Man, I don't know. I don't know. And I mean, when I'm looking at their list, I'm not seeing anybody else on there that you would think of doing it with. So, if
yeah.
we're going to make that same argument with the linebacker spot, it's easy to say you keep moving.
No, exactly, and that's where I was where I was with Lloyd. I was trying to look and see where he fit in the line.
Yeah,
Chiefs are just so fucking over the cap. Like they're coming up
yeah,
on. Well, actually, they're not as bad over the cap as I thought.
yeah. I mean, I see what they're saying with the cornerback position. Meaning PFF. Jalen Watson could be intriguing, except that you're going to have to pay Trent McDuffie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Brian Cook probably falls short. And then I like Leo Chenal. I like him a lot as a player, but for whatever reason, he's only ever been a rotational guy for them. It's like there's something going on behind the scenes that we don't see with him, where that he's just not been able to be like an every down kind of linebacker. And so, um, I mean, they could do Jalen Watson, but I think that they're gonna probably be better suited spreading that money around when you look at what they've got going on with the defense.
No, I agree there. And
You know,
The Raiders, I think they have to rebuild, so I think it'd be stupid for them to use the tag on anybody.
I got to look at their list just to see because, yeah, they're rebuilding, but man,
Like
let's
I
see.
like maybe Stokes.
Nah, I'm with you, man. I wouldn't do it if I was them.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it, but like Stokes is one that I would pick out as a possible candidate. What does
Yeah,
PFF say? Oh, injuries. Yeah.
yeah, they're better off just, you know, starting fresh, man, because the bar is super low now, right? So don't restrict yourself from a salary cap standpoint when this year's going to be kind of like a free pass now.
And the Chargers, ooh, 3 minutes.
Yeah, Khalil Mack, not tag worthy. Probably not coming back is what I'm hearing. So, I like
Maybe
what PFF
Owa.
is saying, Odafe Owe, but which I mean, what are they saying? What's PFF saying? Yeah, where are they? Oh, they have the space. They have
Mm-hmm.
plenty of. I gotta believe they're going to tag him. I think that one. Yeah. I mean, who else did they even have? I mean, all right. So Harbaugh's been talking up Zion Johnson like crazy, and I have heard people say maybe they would tag him, but I think that they would go with the edge guy over Zion Johnson, who really has had a struggling career up until this past season.
All right, then we got time for the Rams. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
So the Rams.
Tutu Atwell, your homie. He never made it to tag worthy level.
Yeah.
Hey, well, come on. What were the odds?
Cameron
Cameron Curl?
Curl.
Oh, yeah, I just called it out and I see it on PFF. But
Yeah, 10 picks.
that's a rarity for the Rams, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I don't think that Cam Curl or Kobe Durant are tag worthy. And where are the Rams at with cap space?
They are.
Well,
They
they
have
should. They have the
45.
space. They have the space. All right. So I guess let me ask you this: if you're thinking, hey, maybe we get one more good year out of Stafford, maybe for the sake of it, we pick one of these guys and then dump the rest in free agency to max it out for one last run. Maybe you make the case that you would take one of these guys
Mm-hmm.
because honestly, their window it's maybe a year and then Stafford's out. And I would think about it actually. I would think about it just because of that strategy.
No, and I hear you there, and you don't know what you have 10 picks. You have the picks. We have 30 seconds. You have the picks, but you don't know if those picks are going to turn out to what Cameron Curl has been for you, and that's who I would tag
Yeah,
of them.
I like it. All
All
right.
right, 10
Talk to you in 10.
seconds. Talk to you in 10.
Okay. Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins. See, who are they losing? Well, they cut Hill.
I mean, man,
A lot of the offensive line, but they kind of need to revamp that.
yeah.
I like
Yeah,
Russell
those guys
Douglas,
aren't
but
tag
he's
worthy.
old.
No.
I like Russell Douglas, but he's kind of getting old.
Yep.
I kind of like Melifonwu, but again,
Definitely not tag worthy.
yeah.
Especially with a whole new coaching staff, you don't know
Mm-hmm.
where these guys are going to fit in.
Like I
They
like
have
like KJ Britt, but that like a couple years ago, not now.
yeah, they don't have anybody to tag. It's not rocket science, I think, their cap space 3 million only. Why even press it?
Yeah,
All right, on to the Vikings.
nobody.
So yeah. So what is PFF saying? The only guy is Harrison Smith, but he's not gonna be that. Yeah, I'm just skimming their list. There's just not. It's not even a question. You're right. It's simple. Case closed. New England Patriots.
New England Patriots.
Why did that Jalen Hawkins is what PFF is saying?
Really?
Yeah. A key piece on an accelerating deal. 12th among safeties. See, it's weird because for all the other safeties on this list, they've given the opposite argument. And now on this one,
Yeah.
they're saying, oh, well, there's been a boost in the safety market. Well, they've been contradicting themselves up to this point. The Patriots, I mean, here's the thing, dude, they still got 42 fucking million in cap space after they went out and spent a ton of money last year.
Yeah.
If they think Hawkins is a key piece, don't even risk it, man.
No,
Don't even
exactly.
risk it. Because they can tag him and still go and grab some guys in free agency, and that gives the Patriots just another chance to fucking, make another run, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, the Patriots are in a good spot. But aside from him, I don't see anybody on there. Well, I guess K'Lavon Chason did have a really good year for them, but is he going to command tag worthy money? I bet you they just sign him to a deal. They don't have to tag him.
Mm-hmm. And we have the Saints, who we've been saying for years just need to blow it up.
Yeah.
Like, I like Demario Davis. I like Cam Jordan. Are they tag worthy this year? Probably not.
No, dude, no way. They're getting way too long in the tooth.
Yeah. Like, if Cam Jordan comes
What
back,
about
he's going to come back because he wants to play for the Patriots and will sign for whatever they offer him.
Yeah, what about Alante Taylor? Because he stepped up to be one of their top cornerbacks, but PFF's not even mentioning him, so maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm off base. No
He's
Taysom Hill
young.
action?
He's going into his 5th year. So here's the thing: is they probably could get him for cheaper.
Okay.
And he kind of had a down year compared to, he's coming off of injury.
Gotcha. Yeah, and hey, they're finally getting back into a better salary cap position, so why rock the boat? All right. Are we on to the Giants? Is it that simple?
Maybe he's not coming off injury, but he had a way down year. I guess it was about par. Why? Oh, NFL.com listed in reverse order. So the most recent year is on top. First
Okay.
year, and as it goes down, it gets older. So I saw he only played in 13 games, had 44 tackles, 37 solo, 7 assists, 11 pass defenses. I didn't realize that was his rookie year.
Gotcha.
Like, maybe, but maybe probably get him for cheaper.
Sure.
Giants.
Yeah, I mean,
Offensive
I do
line
like who
losses concern me.
Yeah, I do like who PFF is listing, but I also agree that they're not tag worthy. They're just high priority re-signings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see anybody in there. I mean, I would tag the shit out of Russell Wilson, right? But
All right, Jets.
they're like I'm not even entertaining that fucking comment. Okay. Yes, Brees Hall. Come on, they're not tagging him. We know they're not tagging him. They've
So
been running him. They've been
Brees
running
Hall
him
is
in a
not even
committee.
on their fucking list as a loss. What the fuck?
You're right. That's weird. Why don't they have him on there? It doesn't matter. They're not tagging him. They've been forcing him into a committee, even though he really should be a workhorse running back.
GM Darren Moogie says Jets will tag Brees Hall if they can't agree on a long-term contract.
This is like a Trey Hendrickson of the New York Jets. Let's just play weird games with this guy. Possibly trade him at the deadline, then decide to keep him, put him in a committee, don't really give him like the premier opportunity. And oh, you know what? Now we're just gonna tag him. We're just gonna tag him now. Big deal, whatever. Like, are you kidding me, man? Come on.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I don't understand it, man. If they were gonna give the guy 25 touches a game, do it. But when you're giving him like fucking 10 to 15 a game, and it's probably more like 15, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, looking at the rest of their list, Elijah Vera Tucker, but he's hurt a lot. I don't know. That's like it. I mean, this team has like gone to shit real fast, man. But they got the space. It just doesn't. They don't have the guys.
Yeah.
All right, Philly, my man.
We can skip Philly. Philly doesn't use the franchise tag.
All right. I mean, so PFF is saying Jalen Phillips. They got 18 million in space.
They trade for him?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't know that they would tag anybody else if they were going to use it.
I'm just curious what they gave up. Third round pick.
That they will make it work without him.
Yeah.
They always, they always find a way. So, like you said, they don't tag guys. Don't even worry about it.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Aaron Rodgers. Tag him. Sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
I think it's weird that PFF is saying Rodgers was a top 30 fucking free agent, or is a top 30 free agent on their board. I mean, all right, whatever. Yeah, Samalo was good, right? Okay, he's 32, so they're saying he's going to sign for less. I get that. You don't tag Rodgers. You don't. You make him what you think is a fair offer for a guy that maybe has one more year that is a 50-50 chance of completely falling off the cliff. And I don't see I mean, here's what I would say. I would never do this. I would never do this. But Kenneth Gainwell was actually like crazy, crazy clutch for them last year. But I would
Mhm.
not tag him. You know, he was not like Rico Dowdell impactful, you know, but they still kind of just like chugged along with or without Gainwell's impact, right? But he definitely surprised me with how great he was catching the ball out of the backfield last year. But yeah, I think there's no
He
one.
did, but they also still have Jalen Warren.
True. Yeah, I'm going no one for Pitt.
Yeah, me too.
But you can die on that Aaron Rodgers hill if you want, man. I'll let you do
Oh, I was not serious at all.
it. No backsies. No backsies. I mean, I think the 49ers, it's obvious. Do you know who I'm thinking of?
Yeter Gross Matos.
No, I think you know who I'm thinking of. You just gotta like take a pause and think about it for a second.
Skymore.
No, Eddie Pinheiro, man. If you're gonna tag a fucking special teamer, this is a team that has been plagued by bad kickers, and Pinheiro came in and was actually really fucking good for them.
Yeah, that's
I wouldn't even take the chance. I would just say, you know what? For 6 million, we're just gonna tag your ass. Oh, I can tell that a part of you is like you're crazy, but a part of you is like, wait a minute, the wheels are turning.
no, like, yeah, no, they are, and I'm.
It won't happen because he's a kicker, and I'm sure they'll sign him to a deal. But man, you know, they need a kicker, and he was really good for them.
No, that's why I can't dismiss it offhand because it
Yeah.
makes sense.
They have a lot of games where it gets tight. The games they play, man, the kicking game can make or break it. And we saw Moody break it a lot of times. And I don't think Robbie Gold's coming back.
You don't think who?
You know, before Moody, they had Robbie Gold
Oh yeah.
because he was good for them too. But that was a while ago. So, all right, off to Seattle. I mean, if you could call him a special teamer, I would say Rashid Shaheed, but he would get the wide receiver tag.
Yeah.
So,
I
and
mean,
they should not let him walk. By the way, he is
no, they should not let
amazing in
him walk.
special teams.
But there is an obvious one on this list. We talked about it after the playoffs. That almost the best thing that happened to the team was Charbonnet going down and having to
Yeah,
rely on Kenneth Walker.
Walker has some sizzle, man. I get it. He's not for everyone because sometimes he goes sideways more than coaches like, but a lot of times those moves work for him and they pay off, man.
No, 100%.
You know, and I think the issue is that it was vocal going into last year's preseason that Mike McDonald and company wanted Charbonnet to be sort of like the one and then Kenneth Walker fall down into the two. and Charbonnet's on-field work didn't end up warranting that. And then, of course, he got hurt, and it flipped in the playoffs. But it's like I think that it's after you like sort of publicly make that statement, it's hard to go back from that. And
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker just did the best thing he possibly could have for his career by lighting it up in the playoffs, man. And so uh, I would love to see him stay and do it again, but I don't know, dude. I don't know. I gotta believe behind the scenes, whether they're saying it or not, there's something a little disjointed because of the way that all went down earlier in the year last year.
No, I agree with you, but outside of Walker, like I don't I don't see anybody else.
No, they don't need to, I mean, you don't force it, right? Like you hang on to Shaheed, but he's not tag worthy. I mean, the Seahawks do have a ton of fucking space, man. I mean, why wouldn't you just fucking tag Walker? I know he's not going to do it, but yeah. I think separately we should maybe if we burn through this and you got a few minutes, we should talk about where we would like to see him end up if it's not in Seattle.
Ooh.
All right, Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
The Buccaneers. They got all right cap space, 23 mil. Jamel Dean on the list, Mike Evans on the list. I don't think you tag Mike Evans. Okay.
No, you don't tag Mike Evans.
I think out of respect for him and what he's done for that organization, you let him decide if he's coming back or not, and you work on the right number. You don't tag him. That's kind of like a smack in the face to a guy like him at this stage of his career. Jamel Dean, I mean, just a couple years ago he was their 3, and now you're talking about maybe tagging him. I don't think that makes sense.
So I agree with what PFF says about him, where he was first half of the season he did great. Second half of the season he fell off.
Yeah.
At 29,
tag you some Cade Otton, man. I mean, Cade Otton's a high priority re-signing. He's not tag worthy, but but he would be an honorable mention. But yeah, I don't think there's anybody really there for them.
As we get to
Tennessee.
So here's the thing with Tennessee's list. Here, Xavier Woods and Cushenberry were released by the team.
Okay.
Cushenberry was released, if I remember correctly. Yep, he was released with a failed physical designation.
Yeah, they don't have anybody, dude.
If
Johnny
he
Hekker
wasn't going into year 15, I might make an argument for Zeitler.
Yeah, no, but you're not tagging Zeitler.
Not going into year 15.
No.
8 years ago, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could have definitely made the case at one stage of his career, but not now. Shit, I just moved on to Washington. They got a lot of guys that are leaving.
Yeah.
And they got a fuckload of cap space, so they're in a great position. But all right, let's see. What do they got going on here? They're saying Debo, Bobby Wagner. Okay, you're not tagging Yeah, okay, so you're saying it'd be shocking. Yeah, you're not going to tag Debo or Bobby Wagner. Um,
You're not going to tag Von
wow.
Miller.
You wouldn't do this, James. I know you wouldn't do this, but it would be tempting to think about Mariota because he
Yeah.
did play extremely well and Jaden Daniels missed a lot of time. But you can't tag the backup. I get it. It just doesn't work from an optics standpoint. You can't do it. I mean, Cleveland can go out and sell the farm for Deshaun Watson, but you can't franchise tag a backup quarterback. And I think they'll get back Bobby Wagner because he's going to want to stay with Dan Quinn. Um, none of these guys are tag worthy, man.
No, they're not. Like the only one, and you probably could get them for cheaper, but it wasn't evident this year. But when Jane Daniels was healthy, Zach Ertz was his man.
You're right. Yeah, but you wouldn't tag him, not at this
Right.
stage.
You wouldn't tag him, but
You should make him a high priority. Bring him back.
you make him exactly. You make him a high priority to come back.
Yeah. And hey, with Philly possibly letting Goddard walk, I'd bring him in too. You take two old Philly tight ends and give them weapons for Jaden Daniels. Uh, yeah. Okay. Okay. So that's all I got for Washington,
Yeah,
which
it's,
brings us back to my Kenneth Walker thing. Can we talk about that for a minute?
yeah. Let's do it.
This is just like free agent matchmaker, man. If you could go through the list of teams on the league and maybe make a little bit of a case that they could bring him in, where would you want to see him end up?
I'm going through the list, and
Yeah, I need a minute to go through it myself.
oh shit.
I mean, I want it to be a competitor, right? Because otherwise he would just stay and take less money to stay with Seattle. Well, I got a team, but let me keep going through the list here. Uh, all right, I got a couple teams. What are you seeing anything yet that you want to?
Well, I see one that I would two that I think, but I would hate if he went
Okay,
there. Three that I would hate if he went there.
are these NFC North teams?
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
I think Chicago could be a good spot for him to do
yeah.
some
Except
damage.
he's not. Except he's not a great receiver out of the backfield, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if that's like a Ben Johnson kind of guy, but you never know.
I have one team that I would like to see him on.
Which team?
Denver.
That was one of the teams I was thinking as well. Now I do wonder, right? Because it's kind of similar to what I was saying with Ben Johnson, where he doesn't catch the ball out of the backfield much, and Sean Payton does kind of like even when Sean Payton had the 1-2 punch
Mhm.
with like Mark Ingram and those guys in New Orleans, all those guys could catch. And so maybe that's like a square peg in a round hole that just sounds good to guys like me and you, but practically maybe doesn't work. Um, the
Another
team the team
another
that
one
I
could
was
be the
thinking,
Chargers.
okay, pair them with
The
Hampton.
Chargers. Yeah.
All right, the team I was thinking, James, and it would be a crazy fucking all-in committee, just whatever. The fucking Rams. Pair him with Kyron Williams
Ooh.
and just have every weapon under the sun for Stafford, and you're taking him away from your fucking division rival. Oh, dude, it would be wild. I would highly doubt Kenneth Walker would go to that because he would probably have opportunities to be a workhorse elsewhere. But he could also look at that and say, "Well, shit, I'm either going to stay in Seattle and be a part of a committee where I might get another ring, or I could go to the Rams and be a part of a committee and maybe get another ring." and
Yeah, no, so
it,
because of Kyron, I discounted the Rams and
yeah.
then
Then the other team that I liked as an option was the Texans.
see I looked at the Texans and where my concern with the Texans came, I thought about it and their offensive line is a concern.
Yeah, the offensive line has to be better, right? I just think that they need that solid workhorse running back to pair with that top defense, and it can get them back into like that higher level of competition, right? Because we've kind of seen it now that Stroud, he's a little shaky under pressure in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
That'd be a good fit too. My concern really with them is their offensive line.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. All right. Well, that was fun. There weren't as many teams on the list as I thought, but like, because he could go to Arizona, but why? Just to
Yeah.
get the money and the opportunity because James Conner might be out. I don't know. Like the Patriots would be cool, but they're not gonna. You got Travion Henderson and Stevenson, and I think that they're still committed to Stevenson with some guaranteed money this next year. So, you know, because you could pair him with Henderson and that'd be a nice little combo, but that's a three-headed monster if Stevenson's still getting paid. And then Pittsburgh, why would you go to Pittsburgh? They don't have a quarterback. Cincinnati would be cool, except all they do is fucking pass the ball. So
It's not that much
to get out of Stevenson,
to get out of Stevenson.
okay.
It's so his cap number is 7.4, and if they were to cut him pre June 1st, it'd only be 8. If they were to cut him after June 1st, and that's the thing, if they were to cut him after June 1st, they would save $2.5 million.
Well, maybe that's similar to the vein of what I was thinking with the Rams. I mean, it's like, hey, you just lost in the Super Bowl. Just why don't you just take this guy now and see if you can work a little bit of that magic with him.
I just don't. It doesn't feel right to
Like a
me.
fit for you.
Yeah.
I don't
Holy
think it'd be a fit unless Stevenson's out because, they're still going to be passing the ball out of the backfield to Henderson, and they're still going to be trying to increase Henderson's workload, right? And so, but that's all right. Just pondering some ideas.
I just looking at the cap situation in New England.
Yeah.
It's crazy that they fucking made the Super Bowl because
I know, dude.
their 10th highest cap hit is a guy that's on his first contract in Drake May.
Yeah. And I know that they had the soft schedule last year, right? But they did make it all the way to the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so even with a harder schedule, that entire group of guys is going to be better just from organic growth and development. And they've got 42, 43 million to go out
Mm-hmm.
and supplement. They're in great fucking shape, man. Like the only thing that's going to fuck with them is a major injury like Drake May or,
Mm-hmm.
a big name guy like really dragging them down. Otherwise, they're in a prime position to be, a top 5 team again, no problem.
No, 100%. But then again, we'll see because schedule how much of a difference that makes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs. They need a running back.
Yeah. All right. So you got anything else?
No, I'm good to go, my man.
All right. Sounds good. Like, subscribe. You're not listening anyways.
Yeah. Just comment, do whatever. Peace out. All right, homie. I'll
All right.
shut it down.
Gridiron Grinder. Hut hut hike.